Hello, and welcome to another episode of TCR Express. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and with me I have
Staff writer of the Journal of Commerce, Russell Hixson.
and Russell. It's a busy week with the election and everything else we've always got on our plate. What is going on?
Yeah, we have a story up that I wrote recently about the founder of a company called PurposeDriven Development. Her name's Carla Guerrera, and she spent several decades working for large developers, developing public and private projects. And she found that when you do projects with a purpose, that's help serving a community, helping the environment, that has a broader positive social goal, that's not just, the right thing to do, the moral thing to do, but it also leads to way better project outcomes. And so she decided to found her company with that in mind, with those lessons in mind. And she's found success. I mean, she talked about how her projects are getting much faster approvals because, communities get on board more for a project that is going to serve their community better. So that was interesting to talk to her about her philosophy around developers and how she believes that more developers are going to have to follow suit and find projects with broader social and environmental goals, and that'll get a lot more buy-in from the community and more buy-in from the cities.
Which has been happening, over the past 5 to 10 years. You have seen a lot more, at least lip service paid to that, if not, and people have put the time in too, I think.
Yeah, and she works in Vancouver, in the Metro Vancouver area, which has some notorious development process times.
Yes.
And anything that can be done to kind of shave those down. Sometimes you could spend years waiting for approvals for a project, and you could have built it by the time you get your permits.
All right. What else you got going on?
Yeah, I wrote up a story about a report from the Pembina Institute, and this is interesting. It's about power generation. And the Pembina Institute, in their research, is arguing that there needs to be a lot more independent power projects, especially from First Nations groups, which historically have done a lot of successful independent power projects. But they say BC Hydro in the province has kind of stymied this by doing away with programs in the past that encouraged people to, do their own power projects and then sell some of that power back to the province. And then they also are arguing that the province is not incorporating kind of expected power need goals into some of their documents, which is also hurting efforts. So they're wanting to encourage the province to support some of these independent power projects, especially from First Nations groups that can often maybe be in remote areas that could benefit from solar projects, geothermal projects, and also benefit from it financially as well. So yeah, I wrote up a story on that. So it's on our site either today or it should be soon. So check it out.
Okay, great. And in the East, Daily Commercial News staff writer Don Wall is reporting on a U.S. Conference of Architects that took place last week. The American Institute of Architects Conference on Architecture held a panel discussion August 19th, offering delegates what was billed as a one-hour tour of the future. The key takeaway from the event was that with trillions to be spent on new infrastructure in the U.S. and U.S. President Joe Biden intent on a green transformation of the economy, it's imperative that architects lead the way forward. Mark Chambers, a senior director for building emissions attached to the White House Council on Environmental Quality, suggested architects have to stand up amongst their peers in construction boardrooms and call for progress and change. Quote, "I'm one of those people that believe that architecture and architects are always well positioned to change the world," Chambers said. And I think it's a particular opportunity for architects to not only reimagine their role as kind of curators of the built environment for a decarbonized future, but also push out a little bit more. The Commercial News staff writer Angela Gismondi is working on a preview story for the annual CanaData Construction Forecast e-conference, which will take place virtually September 28th and 29th this year. She spoke to Alex Carrick, chief economist of ConstructConnect, who said his webinar, Accelerating Your Agility, Building in a Post-Pandemic World, will provide insights focusing on how economic trends, changing demographics, labor shortages, and supply chain disruptions will impact businesses going forward. Carrick's economic outlook will focus on projections, but he said what will be important is interpreting the numbers and what they mean for the construction industry in Canada and other countries around the world. If you'd like to hear other episodes of TCR Express or our Friday Construction Record podcast, you can listen to us on Apple Music, Amazon Music, or Spotify, or on the Daily Commercial News or Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks for listening.